For coach.
Ben, how much you guys need this one after Wednesday?
Yeah, you need all of them. But yeah, I think to be able to respond the way we did is a step in the right direction. I think our guys were able to learn from last game. It's one of the reasons why we wanted to play it, because both these teams are really good. Both these teams are going to do well in their league, and they've got different styles that we're going to have to be able to defend and score against come league play. I think the hard thing about this team, to me, I could be wrong, I think he's got one transfer in like 20 years. And so you're playing against a team that went to the NCAA tournament, that has experience, but they have continuity. And they understand the system on offense and defense. They're not dealing with 8 or 10 new bodies that they got to teach a system to. And that's rare in today's day and age, but it's also very hard, especially early in the year, to guard that, because they're like a machine a little bit. They know ins and outs of their offense and how they want to play it and who's the guy and what their role is. And again, I think it was a 10-point game at Purdue. That's a good team. And so we got tested, and for our guys to be able to respond, especially after halftime, and didn't break, was a great sign for the direction that we want to go.
The response from Brennan Rigsby, previous games, this game, both ways. What did you see?
Yeah, I think, we challenged him. Polakaitis is obviously elite at what he does. And Brennan stepped up. I thought he was awesome. I know he still had his numbers and shot a good percentage, but, seeing that kid on tape for 2 years, that's about as good of a job as I've seen. Staying out of foul trouble as well and doing it, playing almost 33 minutes. So I think, his mentality was right. And I thought because he was focused defensively, he didn't worry about his offense. And it just kind of came. At halftime, my challenge to the guys was, we were not even close to being aggressive enough. And I just said, if I see one more guy that can't turn the corner on the ball screen, you're not playing again. Because we need to get downhill. You got to fight through that. You got to get to the paint. You got to be assertive. You got to be aggressive. And I thought every guy did that. I thought Lukai did that. I thought he took a step. Ike had a big time play in a finish. Frank kept balls alive, possessions alive. Femi got downhill more. He was just more aggressive. And the hardest part is we all want it now, but it's just such a work in progress. And we just need to get game reps for guys to get comfortable.
Obviously, you want the ball at the end. And then Dawson, I know free throw shooting has been a struggle for this team, but not for him.
No, not at all. I think he's done a great job of not settling. I thought he had one, and it was my fault because he's playing too much. But he took I think two maybe, but one for sure where he just settled because he was tired. But we set a goal for him at the beginning of the year. If he can get to line, 10 times a game, that's huge for him and huge for us. And not only is he getting there, but he's making them. And those are run stoppers. When you can get a guy that can get a team into the bonus or the double bonus, and you can stop runs and get points on the board. Sometimes you just got to see the scoreboard change a little bit. And he's been able to do that. And so, we got to continue to find ways to play through him, and then he's got to continue to do a good job of taking what the defense gives him.
Offensively, Brendan seemed to be able to be willing and able to take and create his own shots. Is that kind of what you need from him?
Yeah, no, 100%. Again, guys' roles were so different at their other spots. Now that's good or bad. They're just different, and they were coached different. I'm not Dana Altman, and so there's things that this team needs him to do that maybe he hasn't been asked to do before, and it just if you haven't done it, it just takes time to make sure okay, I'm really supposed to be doing this, or you really want me to do this, or I can shoot that. It's yes. Right? You can tell them all you want in practice, but when game pressure is there, it's different. Some guys fall back on what they're used to doing, and we have different expectations of different guys. And so I just think it's him, becoming comfortable and confident. It obviously helps to see it go in, for any guy. Sometimes you just got to see it go in. And I do. I think, he turned a corner. Again, I think, take the numbers away. Lukai turned a corner, and I think there was a different presence to him Frank, you could tell there's a big difference from first game and this game, with just his energy. You know, he was so vocal out there. It's infectious for our guys. And I told Isaac same thing. Like, if I see him pass up one more pull-up jumper, he's not gonna play, right? Because I've seen him do it in practice, and that's his game. And this team needs this right now. Like, it's no secret, without Mike out there, with his experience and his ability to play make and obviously make shots, it's got to come from somewhere. And I think our guys are finally realizing that you know, take the bull by the horns and let you gotta let it rip.
The shooting numbers are what they are, but to have one turnover, I think in the second half, I think it was, and then, you know, like you said, the guys are shooting. They're being aggressive, more aggressive, like you said. You wanted them to do it. They still only had one turnover.
Yeah, no, I think that was phenomenal. You know, last game, that was the biggest stat that I sat on with our guys. Was we only had 13, and we want to be between 8 and 11, but the 13 led to 18 points. That's the game. Like, as bad as we were offensively, that's the game. Even if you cut that in half, that's the game. And we watched them, and we just talked about, you can't have those catastrophic turnovers for touchdowns, especially when you're struggling to score. Every detail matters, and it just shows that they took the coaching, because we were able to do that by still being aggressive. You know, and that's a step in the right direction. And we should be a team that hopefully can be in that range. And you got to be able to not beat yourself sometimes.
Ben, you talk about aggressiveness. There's also the discipline that comes with this. I think you had one foul in the last 9 minutes after a foul fest to start the second half. What does that say about this group?
Yeah, no, it's the same thing. You know, we talked about that in timeouts because I kept looking up, and you know, as a coach, your biggest worry is when it's one-sided a little bit, you hope it doesn't even out. Because I thought we were guarding without fouling, and I just kept telling the refs, like, hey man, like, we are guarding without fouling. Let's not assume. And then we told our guys in the huddles, in the timeouts, that, you know, their defense was so key, because again, I thought our first shot defense and rebounding was pretty good. If we could just keep them off the line and not give them the cheap fouls as the half progressed and we could get into the double bonus, I said, fellas, that could be the game. And again, I just think they honed in mentally, and that's a mental thing more than anything, is to not get lazy late shot clock. I think we had a couple possessions where they had shot clock violations, and it's like on hard drives, which is this team is good at, and there weren't bad slapdowns that were dumb fouls or tired fouls or no communication, bad switching fouls. So I think it shows the maturity of this team, that when we're locked in, we can be a team that doesn't have mental errors, turnovers, and dumb fouls and bad fouls.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Okay, we got Dawson Garcia, Brendan Rigsby. Question for either of the athletes.
Gotta make sure that's right. Dawson, talk about just how much you guys wanted this one after what happened on Wednesday.
Yeah, it was just like, it was life or death. That's how we approached it in practice, and so found ourselves in a similar position at halftime, but came down in the locker room and we were just like, it's not gonna happen again, and we're not gonna lose this game again. We're gonna find a way to win, and it was an overwhelming confidence from every single person in the room. And so it wasn't any worry, it was just a sense of urgency to know that what we had to do.
And Brendan, coach talked about everyone being more aggressive in the second half. I think he said if you guys weren't going downhill off the ball screen, he's gonna take you out. I mean, the whole team.
Yeah, we were just talking about how, we're really good athletes, and if we can get 2 feet in the paint, it just opens up so much more to the game, and I think we did that pretty well in the second half.
Brendan, what's it like adjusting to a role where maybe you do need to be a little more aggressive and get downhill a little bit more?
I mean, it's definitely a little different to what I've been playing, but I mean, I like it. Be able to use my athleticism, get downhill, try to get some scores and get that going.
When you look at just what happened with the injuries and Mike going out, like you played one game without him, and then talk about the adjustments in the second game. I felt like even Lukai was, facilitating.
Yeah, I mean, Mike is such a good player, and it sucks that he's out right now. And I definitely think that didn't help us in the first game without him, and I think we're kind of getting in a groove, kind of feeling like how we got to play without him right now. But yeah.
Same thing, Dawson.
Yeah, we know what Mike brings to the team. He's an elite scorer, and we miss him every single day in practice as well. He's an older guy. He holds people accountable with the way he approaches practice, and he's getting more and more verbal. And so it's obviously a huge loss to have Mike Mitchell out. But like Coach said, and we said, other guys got to step up, and we got to find ways to win, and we did that today.
Dawson, how much does it open things up for you when, like in the second half, guys would be more aggressive, get downhill?
It opens up things a lot, and it benefits both parties because we got a roster full of talent, and so when guys are trusting their ability, great things are happening for them because they're playing a defense in a tough situation, and then it just naturally opens up for other players on the court as well.
Seems like you're shooting free throws the best you've had, and you're going to the line like a lot more. Did Coach talk to you about that this season?
Not really, no. It's just I just stayed consistent working on it, and I had some like ugly misses tonight, but I was thankful that my work that I've been doing just came through.
Also, the part of just like getting to the free throw line, did the coach tell you more of that this year? Like
Yeah,
10 free throws a game, I think he said was a good goal.
Coach Thorson definitely yells that a lot during practice, and so it's an emphasis just because I put a lot of pressure on the defense naturally, and so even if I'm not scoring, I can be hurting them.
Sure. Brendan, defensively, I'm not going to try to say his last name, but he was definitely a big scorer in the NCAA tournament, and he's done a lot for Yale. Like, he's a veteran player. Like, how was it guarding him?
I mean, yeah, he's a really good player. Janko, one of our coaches, was talking. He's a driller. He gets even a little bit of space. He's going up, and it's always got a chance to go in. So it was definitely a challenge I accepted, and he still did his thing, though. I'm not gonna lie. He still did his thing, but yeah, it was fun.
Is that the identity that this team's going to have, until shots start falling defensively?
Yeah, I think it's a good identity to have because it's consistent. Teams are going to make and miss shots, and once our offense starts clicking completely on every cylinder, like we know, like we're not a team that's going to be scoring like this low. We got a lot of offensive firepower, and once it all starts clicking, if we hold on to defense too, it could get real for us.
How close do you feel like it is to clicking offensively?
I mean, it's really just it's one game away from seeing it, one practice away. It's just continuing to stack the bricks and do the right things every single day, and knowing that eventually it will come because we got the talent. So.
I noticed that the trade was one of the guys with the belt, Brennan. I mean, it's not just about scoring. Obviously, he didn't play as much, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he was given a belt just because he was a lead on the bench. He had a great attitude. That's what winners are made of. And another person I would like to point out too is Caden Betts, same way. You know, he could be sitting on the bench pouting, but he brings good energy every single day, whether he's playing, whether he's not playing. And so I think those two things are massive. And then obviously, you know, he's talented too, so when he gets his opportunity, he's gonna get more and more comfortable too.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.